Bible Basics Series by Timothy Von Wald.
Hello, this is Timothy Von Wald, and I am introducing the Bible Basics series. Now, the purpose of the series is to get people acquainted with the Bible and to make it easier to understand. In this particular lesson, we are discussing understanding the New Testament. Now, the New Testament is often called the New Covenant. And what a covenant is, it's agreement between two parties. In particular, the two parties are God and us. The New Testament is what I like to call the how covenant of the Bible. It answers the question, how are we made right with God? And the answer to that question is faith in Jesus Christ. Now, if you take a look at the New Testament, you'll discover that it is divided up into four groups. These groups are known as literature types. The first one is called the Gospels, and these books discuss the stories of the life of Jesus Christ. The next category is called the history. The third category is called the letters. And the fourth category is called prophecy. Now, the first section is known as the Gospels. And this is Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. The word gospel is often described as good news. It's a good message that is presented. It reveals to us salvation through Jesus' death, burial, and resurrection. The Gospels are considered the most important books of the New Testament because really everything else that was written by the apostles was based off of the life of Jesus Christ. The Gospels prove that Jesus is the Messiah. And Messiah is actually referring to the Jewish king. It was promised in the Old Testament by Moses, David, and the prophets. The history is the book of Acts, and unlike the Old Testament history, which was 12 books, the New Testament history is only one book. Acts chronicles the work of the apostles and their ministry that took place after Jesus ascended into heaven. And some of the key players in the book of Acts are Peter, John, Philip, Barnabas, James, and Paul. Acts had a mission to spread the word of God in Jerusalem, then Judea and Samaria, and then to the world. And Acts ends in Rome, which symbolizes God's message being preached to the entire world. The next category is called the letters. And like the prophets, these are also divided up into two groups. Now, the first group is what I call Paul's letters. And then the second group is what I call the general letters. Sometimes these, instead of the word letters, they use the word epistles, but it really means the same thing. It's a message that was written down on parchment or paper and actually sent off to somebody else. Now, in the letters, Paul's letters are Romans, 1st, 2nd Corinthians, Galatians, Ephesians, Philippians, Colossians, 1st, 2nd Thessalonians, 1st, 2nd Timothy, Titus, and Philemon. And what Paul does is he writes more letters than any of the other apostles, and these letters are actually sent off to individual churches. So instead of being named after Paul, these letters are named after the churches that they were sent to. Paul's teaching provides a comprehensive portrayal of the Christian faith. And in the general letters, which is basically Hebrews, James, 1st, 2nd Peter, 1st, 2nd, 3rd John, and Jude, these letters were written by the apostles and then they were circulated among the churches. And so most of the names of the letters reflect the author of the book instead of the person that they were sent out to. The only exception is the book of Hebrews here, which was sent out to some Hebrew Christians, but we don't know exactly who authored the book of Hebrews. Then, this final section here, the prophecy. Um, Unlike the Old Testament prophecy, which dealt with the Messiah and and then started talking about the end times, the book of Revelation deals specifically with end times. Now, revelation is kind of like what the word means, to reveal something, to take something that was hidden and actually reveal it to make it plain. The book of Revelation is sometimes called the Apocalypse, which basically means the same thing, something that was hidden but is now revealed. And Revelation was written by the Apostle John. And it was written in a time when the Romans were very brutally torturing and murdering Christians. And so that is one of the reasons why the book of Revelation is written in code instead of plainly spelled out. Revelation reminds us that Jesus will rescue his people and that we must remain faithful to Jesus. And Revelation also reminds us that there is an eternal reward for the righteous and eternal punishment for the wicked. So, getting back to what I was discussing to you before, the New Testament is written by four literature types: the Gospels, the history, the letters, and the prophecy. The Gospels focus on the life of Christ, what he taught, and what he did. And we learn as much from what Jesus did as we do from what he taught. The history is the book that focuses on the ministry of the apostles after Jesus ascended into heaven. The letters were the letters written by the apostles to various churches and sometimes were circulated around. And then the prophecy was written by the apostle John, and it talks about the return of Jesus and the end times. And so this is Timothy Von Wald, just wanting to let you know that I hope you have a pleasant rest of your day. Bye.
Check out other episodes in this series and other great series.